You are watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the January 20th meeting for the Michigan City Common Council. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Good evening and welcome to the Michigan City Common Council meeting. Today is January 20th, 2026. And if I would please ask each of you to silence all of your electronic devices and join us in saying the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of prayer. Madam Clerk, on roll call, please.
Mr. Beatrice?
Present.
Mr. Coulter?
Present.
Mr. Dabney?
Present.
Dr. Cora?
Present.
Ms. Lee? Present. Ms. Moldenauer?
Present.
Mr. Nelson?
Present.
Mr. Prozbolinski?
Present.
And Ms. Tolman?
Present.
We have 9 present and no one absent.
Next, we have the approval of minutes from the regular council hybrid Zoom, January 6, 2026. May I entertain a motion to approve?
Motion to approve. Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Prozbolinski and a second by Councilman Nelson. Madam Clerk, on the vote, please.
Ms. Moldenauer?
Aye.
Mr. Nelson?
Aye.
Mr. Prozbolinski?
Aye.
Ms. Tolman?
Aye.
Mr. Beatrice?
Aye.
Mr. Coulter?
Aye.
Mr. Dabney?
Aye.
Dr. Cora?
Aye.
And Ms. Lee? Aye. We have 9 in favor and no one opposed.
And the minutes of the regular council hybrid Zoom for January 6, 2026 has been approved. I would like to entertain a motion to suspend to amend the agenda. And we have under new business, the vote for 2026 council committee assignments. And the reasoning for this amendment, I would like to move this up before we do the reports of standing committees and the finance committee meeting. Just for the clarity and transparency, due to that, we did hold our first finance committee meeting today, but to have it official, I want to make sure that those that are on voting boards, it has been officially approved by the council. May I entertain a motion?
Support.
We have a motion by Dr. Cora and a second by Councilman Dabney.
Point of order. Can we see the list?
Did you all not receive the list?
No.
Madam Clerk?
We did send out the list and you said there were going to be changes this evening.
Correct.
I didn't get a.
And I turned that into the clerk's office on Friday.
It was put in everyone's mailbox and it was sent out. The one you gave me on Thursday or Friday, whichever day.
Friday.
Yeah.
Okay, just give me a minute if you would.
No problem at all.
Thank you.
If all the council members would take a moment to please review the 2026 council committee assignment, the master list. However, there are amendments that was made to it as well. And we still have a motion on the floor. And a second. Okay. So with the motion on the floor and a second, Madam Clerk, as requested, please.
Mr. Nelson?
Okay, so just for clarification, we are approving this sheet right here, correct? The new,
Right.
with the amendment?
No,
No.
right now you're approving to move the consideration of that sheet upward in the agenda to
Okay,
wherever Madam President wanted to put it.
Yes.
okay. Aye.
Mr. Preselinski,
Aye.
Ms. Tillman,
Aye.
Mr. Beatrice,
Aye.
Mr. Coulter,
Aye.
Mr. Dabney,
Aye.
Dr. Cora,
Aye.
Ms. Lee, and Ms. Moldenauer.
Aye.
We have 9 in favor and no one opposed.
And so that has been approved in order to amend the agenda, moving the 2026 council committee before we begin our reports of standing committees that is listed on the agenda. Before we move forward also with that, as indicated at our first council meeting, I provided a copy of the 2025 council committee assignments to everyone, along with a blank sheet where I requested from all council members to please turn that into me that Friday. And for those that I've heard from, those that have texted me, I appreciate and thank you for your requests either to retain or to be removed or to request to sit on another board. And for those that I did not, this is the 2026, which I am going to be requesting amendments to, which that amendment list was provided to the clerk's office on Friday on or about 1:30 p.m. by me. So if you all would take a moment to look at that, I would greatly appreciate it. And the ones that we're actually looking at for voting members, it's the Animal Control Board, NCEDC, the Plan Commission, Public Arts Committee, Redevelopment Commission, Social Status of African American Males, Solid Waste Management, Tree Board, and the Urban Enterprise Association. The Michigan City Economic Development Commission was already voted on and appointed, which was now, it was previously held by Councilman Dabney, which is now held by Dr. Cora. The Redevelopment Commission, previously held by myself, and I have submitted all of my documentation and has been sworn in. So those two have already been voted upon and taken care of. So the other ones, as far as standing committees, if anyone doesn't understand in regards to, and I'm addressing this as publicly so that there is the transparency for standing committees, those are appointed by the president of the council and the select committees. Boards and commissions, they are appointed, and majority of those are voting positions that the council members actually hold as well. And those are the ones, as I just read the list, are the ones that we have to vote upon. Attorney Snow, I do have one request. So the amendment that was provided and done and provided by the clerk's office, there was also an additional change. Do I need to make a motion to amend the amendment?
So what you have is a document with a slate of appointments on it, and you're saying you need to change one more thing that's on that document.
There's two changes.
There's
Yeah.
2 changes. So
One is the LRC, and the other one.
yes, let's go ahead and do a motion to just amend the slate of officers or a slate of appointments to include those 2 changes. Yes.
Okay.
I think we should formalize that, and
Yeah.
then we're 100% clear what we're voting on.
Thank you.
Yep.
May I entertain a motion to amend the slated 2026 boards and commissions?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilwoman Lee, second by Dr. Core. Madam Clerk, on the vote, please.
Mr. Preselinski,
Aye.
Ms. Tillman,
Aye.
Mr. Beatrice,
Aye.
Mr. Coulter,
Aye.
Mr. Dabney,
Aye.
Dr. Cora,
Aye.
Ms. Lee, Ms. Moldenauer,
Aye.
and Mr. Nelson.
Aye.
We have 9 in favor and no one opposed.
And so that has been passed. And as you can currently see, the standing committees, there has been one change, and that was to the finance. And the chairperson for the finance for 2026 is Councilman Dabney. Members consist of Dr. Cora and Mr. Beardry. Humane Activities, chairperson Councilwoman Lee, members Nelson and Beardry, Judiciary Rules Parliamentarian, Chairperson Moldenauer, members Cora and Lee, License and Franchises, Chairperson Coulter, members Tillman and Dabney, Parks and Rec, Chairperson Dabney, members Prisbalinski and Lee, Planning and Zoning, Chairperson Dabney, members Moldenauer and Nelson, Public Health and Safety, Chairperson Dr. Cora, members Lee and Moldenauer. Streets and Alleys, Chairperson Prisbalinski, members Nelson and Coulter. Utilities, Chairperson Nelson, members Prisbalinski and Tillman. Waters and Harbors, Chairperson Beardry, members Coulter and Cora. Select Committees, Ethics, Chairperson Lee, members Coulter and Nelson. The amendment for labor relations, the chairperson has resigned from that position, which was Councilman Dabney. And as far as members, it will continue on. Oh, and myself, Tracy Tillman, as removed. So the new members will be Prisbalinski, Lee, and Coulter. Again, the members for the LRC Labor Relations is Councilman Prisbalinski, Lee, and Coulter.
Madam Chairman, point
Yes,
of order.
Councilman Prisbalinski.
Yeah. So who is the chairman of this committee? You didn't say who the chairman was.
I'm getting there.
Okay.
If you will please allow me. So as I will appoint as the chair, Councilman Prisbalinski.
I do not accept the chairmanship for that committee. I will be on the committee, but I do not accept the chairmanship.
Thank you. Then I would ask if Councilwoman Lee will accept as chair.
I would like to politely decline that. Excuse me. I'm also the liaison for the Fire Merit Commission. And so to be on the Labor Relations and the Fire Merit might be a conflict of interest, and I would like to stay as liaison to the Fire Merit Commission, please.
Councilman Coulter.
There's a chance that we could amend this in a couple months, right?
If for whatever, if it warrants to where if a council person that accepts the appointment or as member brings that to my attention, then this matter can be discussed.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I will accept the appointment as the chairman of the Labor Relations Committee.
Thank you. So we have Councilman Coulter as the chair for LRC Labor Relations. Are there any other council members that would like to serve as a member to the LRC? I have you, Councilman Prisbalinski.
Okay.
Are there any other?
I just want to make sure I'm down. Thank you.
You down.
I'll serve.
And then we will add Councilman Nelson as member. Okay. Next, we have the tax abatement. Chairperson is Beardry. Members is Nelson and Lee. Municipal transit. Chairperson is Moldenauer. Members Beardry and Tillman. Internal control oversight is Tillman. Gun violence prevention is Dr. Cora. Member Prisbalinski. Now we are at the boards or commissions. ALCO Associate Board Member Liaison is Councilman Dabney. Animal Control Board Member, this is a voting position. Councilman Prisbalinski, Aviation Commission Liaison, Moldenauer, Commission for Women's Liaison. There is a change. Councilwoman Lee is removed, and I would like to know if there's anyone on the council that would like to serve as the liaison to the commissions for women.
Wow, sir.
We have Councilman Nelson. Are there any others? There are no others, so we now have Councilman Nelson as the liaison for the Commission for Women. Commission for Sustainability Liaison, Moldenauer and Lee. Economic Development Corp member elected by EDC Board. This is a voting position. That is Dr. Cora. Economic Development Commission. That is Councilwoman Tillman. Education Michigan City Area School Board Liaison, Mr. Beatrice. The Fire Merit Commission will remain liaison, Councilwoman Lee. The Historic Preservation Commission Liaison, Councilman Coulter. Housing Authority Liaison, Nelson. Human Rights Commission Liaison, Prisbalinski. License Board Liaison, Tillman. Park Board Liaison, Dabney. Main Street Association Liaison, Coulter. Plan Commission's member, which is a voting seat, that is Councilman Dabney. Police Commission Liaison is Dr. Cora. Port Authority Liaison is Councilman Coulter. Public Art Committee members, this is a voting seat, Prisbalinski. Redevelopment Commission, this is a voting seat, Tillman. Revolving Loan Fund Committee Liaison, Prisbalinski. Sanitary Board Liaison, Prisbalinski. Michigan City Commission of the Social Status of African American Males, this is a voting seat that is held by Nelson. The Tree Board, Solid Waste Management, that is Prisbalinski. Tree Board member, the Solid Waste Management is a voting position, which is held by Councilman Prisbalinski. The Tree Board member is a voting position. This is Councilwoman Moldenauer. Dr. Cora is no longer residing on this board. Urban Enterprise Association member, this is a voting position. Councilman Nelson. Veterans Commission, Councilman Beatrice. The Water Board Liaison, Nelson, and the Youth Commission Liaison is Councilwoman Lee.
I just have a question. The Veterans Commission, is that a liaison position then?
That is a liaison position, yes. And just for the record, if those that did not get that, the Veterans Commission is a liaison position held by Councilman Beatrice. Do any of the council members have any questions, comments, or concerns in regards to the boards or commissions that they have been assigned to? If there are none, Madam, I would like to entertain a motion to accept the boards or commissions as presented.
So moved. Support.
We have a motion by Councilman Beatrice and a second by Councilman Dabney. Madam Clerk, on the vote, please.
Ms. Chalman,
Aye.
Mr. Beatrice,
Aye.
Mr. Coulter,
Aye.
Mr. Dabney,
Aye.
Dr. Cora,
Aye.
Ms. Lee,
Aye.
Ms. Moldenauer,
Aye.
Ms. Nelson,
Aye.
and Mr. Prisbalinski.
Aye.
We have 9 in favor and no one opposed.
Thank you. And as you have all been informed now, I know I went through that a little quick, but now you have an idea as far as what standing committees, select committees, boards, and commissions that each of the council members serve on. So if you have questions or concerns in regards to any of those boards or commissions, then those are the individuals that you should also and are able to reach out to. Next, we have reports of standing committees. Are there any reports of standing committees? Any reports of standing committees? Councilman Coulter.
Thank you, Madam President. So for the Public Health and Safety Committee, is this the appropriate time to have the ALA come up?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, yeah. So I've invited the American Lung Association, and Taylor, you have a specific title, and I'm sure you're going to share with us in about a second. But so this is Taylor from the American Lung Association, who's going to talk to us for a few minutes about the importance of smoke-free workplaces and city grounds.
Yeah.
So, thank you, Taylor.
Thank you, Councilman Coulter. Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is Taylor Williams. I'm an advocacy specialist with the American Lung Association. And we can go ahead and go to the next slide. So, as we know, there is no safe level of exposure to secondhand smoke. In 2006, we learned as a nation that secondhand smoke kills and that there's no safe level of exposure to secondhand smoke. And what we're learning in recent years is that the same goes for secondhand aerosols from e-cigarettes. At the American Lung Association, we actually like to call it e-cigarette emissions because e-cigarettes have been known to contain the same chemicals that are found in the emissions from your average gas-powered vehicle. So just a bit of a lay of the land. In 2012, the state of Indiana passed a statewide smoke-free air law that left out 4 major gaps. It left out bars, membership clubs, retail tobacco stores, and casinos. It also left out e-cigarettes and cannabis. And luckily in the law, it added a preemption clause that allows locals to lead the way in stronger smoke-free air laws. But since then, we've only been able to protect 32% of Hoosiers from stronger smoke-free air laws in communities across the state. We've got about 27 communities that have passed stronger smoke-free air laws that close all 4 of those gaps and go a little bit extra in the mile. They include e-cigarettes, and some of them include cannabis as well. So we've got decades of research on why smoke-free air laws work, but they're more effective when they're strong. So we can go to we're on the right side. So smoke-free policies benefit people at every stage of life. Smoke-free laws reduce smoking in public, which in turn means that children and young people see fewer smokers. This makes it less likely that they will take up smoking themselves. And this is from our partners with the Americans for Non-Smokers' Rights. They're a 50-year organization. They put out a Bridging the Gap report in 2022. And this is some of the information from their report. Effective models for creating a smoke-free community exist, and places that have adopted them have seen both economic and health benefits. Since Indiana municipalities have the authority to adopt local laws, communities should focus on local laws covering all workplaces, including bars and casinos. Local control and increasing civic engagement is at the heart of our broader goal of educating the public about the health effects caused by secondhand smoke and secondhand aerosols, and changing attitudes regarding smoking in ways that harm other people, regardless of their geographic region, race, ethnicity, occupation, or economic status. So this ordinance that you've been talking about for weeks came from a city employee's complaint from smoke wafting up into the windows of one of the buildings that they worked in, right? And while what you have before you is a step in the right direction to better protect city employees from secondhand smoke and aerosols, Michigan City is home to the Blue Chip Casino that employs hundreds of employees, of people who are exposed to secondhand smoke and aerosols indoors. So until a fully comprehensive smoke-free air law is passed in Michigan City, the work to protect citizens and residents from secondhand smoke exposure needs to continue. Thank you for allowing me to speak with you all this evening, and I'm available for any questions.
Are there any questions or comments from the council for Ms. Williams? Councilwoman Moldenauer?
Yes, you had mentioned children specifically. I was wondering if you could expand on that and maybe enlighten us with the diseases that children may develop later in life, please.
Of course. So a couple of things, right? So when we get into the talk about prevention and cessation, and LaPorte County used to be a funded county for tobacco control dollars for a long time that did some of this work. So when it talked to intervention with mothers, so pregnant people who are either smoking or vaping themselves, that can be damaging to the lungs and the development of children in the womb. When it comes to children's exposure to secondhand smoke in the home, that's where we see some of the, effects on the lungs in children, children developing asthma earlier on or continuing to have problems with asthma earlier on. And the social norm that it provides to these children that smoking is okay when they see people around them smoking or vaping. And so when you've got a community that's got a strong smoke-free air law in place, that helps children for years and decades to come to live in a community that doesn't normalize smoking or vaping. And I hope that answers your question a little bit.
Yeah, I had read recently, and I couldn't believe it, that children that have been exposed to secondhand smoke in the home, that they're at higher risk for actually developing lung cancer themselves than the parent who was the smoker.
That would not surprise me. I have not heard that specifically, but people who are exposed to secondhand smoke are a lot more likely to develop lung cancer than, just anyone who does smoke, right? That firsthand experience you get is detrimental to one's health as well, but you don't have a choice when it's secondhand smoke.
Dr. Cora.
Yeah, thank you very much for coming. Did you come from Indianapolis?
Yeah, just north of Indianapolis.
No,
Yeah.
No, thank you very much. Being a physician and who deals with this on a day-to-day basis, I agree with Councilwoman Molinar, what she said about the effects on children. More importantly, I've been very much interested in low birth weight babies. We have a high incidence of low birth weight babies in LaPorte County.
Really?
And one of the main reasons is because our smoking rates are very high among pregnant women. And so anything we can do to cut down smoking is helpful, improving the health of children. And of course, we see a lot of lung cancers here and a lot of bronchitis, emphysema, heart disease, and you name it. So it's a good thing to quit smoking. So I appreciate you coming up from Indianapolis. And of course, Councilman Coulter has been very active in this, and so thanks for bringing up this ordinance.
Thank you for the time.
Councilman Dietrich.
I just have a really quick story to share. Years ago, restaurants and bars were talking about whether they should go smoke free or not. And a friend of mine, and actually I signed this diploma when he was a student, owned Hammers. It's closed now. It used to be on it's still on the Johnson Road 20. And he allowed smoking, and he did a change some things around internally and decided to bite the bullet and go non-smoking. And I talked to him maybe a month afterwards, and he was so happy that he was fearful that he would lose a lot of his old customers. He lost very few of them, and he gained so many more new customers. And he said, I wish I had done this years ago. It's the smartest thing I ever did. So, if you're out there and you have a place and you allow smoking, that's a good story to remember, because for him, it was a great move, and we all loved it more because nobody likes to go to a restaurant and eat and be smelling everybody else's smoke. So keep up the good work.
Thank you for sharing that story. Yeah.
Councilman Coulter.
Thank you, Madam President. So Taylor, we know that in LaPorte County, about 24% of adults smoke, and that community interventions like this can really help. Can you say a little bit more about why 24% is so alarming, and how community interventions like this can help? Thank you.
Yeah. So the national smoking average is actually down to 14%. So when it comes to Indiana, I believe our rates teeters in that 18, 19, 20% in terms of traditional cigarettes when we're talking about that smoking rate, right? The numbers get a little bit different when you talk about e-cigarettes, especially when you can target that down to youth and how much youth are using as well. But when it comes to the 24% in LaPorte County, I can't speak directly to why I think that number is high. However, You do have a large employer here that allows smoking indoors. You were a funded county of tobacco control dollars that hired, a coordinator that was working on the prevention and cessation of these products and trying to spread that throughout the whole community. And this past year is the first time they haven't been funded in a while. So I would have thought that the smoking rate would be lower just based off of that work, but I know that there was a lot of turnover in that role for the past 7 or 8 years as well. And so that might have something to do with that too. As you guys, I think you are sandwiched in counties with both funded counties, right? We've got Porter and Elkhart, St. Joe, is that right? And they are both longstanding funded county of tobacco control dollars too. So you're kind of sandwiched in the middle of that.
And just to kind of the context, what you mean by funded county, those are people who have the task of kind of going to all the chamber events and handing out smoke-free material and working directly with employers to encourage them to have smoke-free campuses. And I know there are a few places in LaPorte County where we have employers who have relatively they are big business companies that have smoke-free grounds policies. So there has been some success through some of this. But yeah, we continue to see LaPorte County is one of the highest smoking rates in the state. Which is disappointing. It's disappointing. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, coordinators who are funded through tobacco dollars also work in the schools, so they have the chance to get in with the schools early and try to pass policies that are non-punitive for students. So when they do get caught with an e-cigarette, they're not immediately sent home where they can go vape some more. They're put into a program that treats it as an addiction and less as a punishment. So they can better understand why they're doing it in the first place, right? So yeah, the work plans for these grants for counties are really extensive, but the work that is able to be done is it really moves forward on this needle of healthier communities as tobacco as a baseline, right? Communities are dealing with a lot of really hard things right now, especially when it comes to drugs, but tobacco touches everything. And as a baseline, if we had more smoke-free communities, that would boost our overall health in Indiana.
Are there any other comments or questions for Ms. Williams from the council? If there are none, I would like to thank you, Ms. Williams, for your time and for your presentation to provide us with some clarity in support of Councilman Coulter's ordinance that will be forthcoming on this evening.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Next on our agenda, we have the Finance Committee meeting. Councilman Dabney?
Yes. January 20th, 2026, Finance Committee meeting minutes. Finance Committee meeting was called to order by Chairman Dabney at 6:05 p.m. to review and approve claims since the last meeting. Committee members, Councilman Dr. Cora, Councilman Beatrice, and City Controller Marilyn Wall was present as well. Claims review totaled $487,377.62 from the Riverboat Fund and $0 from the Boyd Development Fund for a total claim docket of $487,377.62. There was no further discussion. Councilman Beatrice moved to recommend approval of the docket. With a second from Councilman Cora, the motion was approved unanimously. There were no public comments. And finally, on a motion by Councilman Dr. Cora and a second by Councilman Beatrice, the meeting was adjourned at 6:10 p.m. The detail of claims are as follows. From the Riverboat Fund, Bank of America Public Capital, Energy Performance, $367,972.97. Bank of American Capital, Public Capital, Energy Performance, again, $119,404.65 for a total in the Riverboat of $487,377.62. And once again, there were $0 on the claims docket from Boyd Development Funds for a total claim docket of $487,377.62. And that concludes my report. And now, for the report of the Riverboat and Rainy Day Fund statement of cash position. As of 1/20/2026, today, the Riverboat Fund $3,672,966.52. And the rainy day fund, $1,325,760.42, for a grand total of $4,998,726.94. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Dabney. Next, we have reports from boards and commissions. Councilman Prisbalinski?
Yeah, Madam President, I had a question about the claims docket.
Oh, my apologies. I'm sorry. Say it again.
Yeah.
No, I said I had a question about the claims docket,
Yes,
what Councilman Dabney was explaining.
if you would, please.
Yeah, so what exactly does that mean, the energy statement of the bill? That's what it's being paid to? I know it's all, I'm trying to find the exact word.
ESG.
Is that what it's for?
Yes.
That's what they're for.
Okay, because I don't think it says ESG on the statement.
City Controller, Mary Lynn Wall, would you please step to the microphone? Thank you.
Hi, Mary Lynn Wall, City Controller. These are the annual loan payments that we make every January for the ESG, for the loan that the council approved. So it's the same loan payment amount, but we make one annual payment every January. And we'll be making these payments until 2029.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you. Are there any other questions in regards to the claims docket for January 2026? If there are none, may I entertain a motion?
So moved.
We have a motion by Dr. Cora. May I entertain a second? Second by Councilman Dabney. Madam Clerk, on the vote, please.
Mr. Beatrice,
Aye.
Mr. Coulter,
Aye.
Mr. Dabney,
Aye.
Dr. Cora,
Aye.
Ms. Lee,
Aye.
Ms. Moldenauer,
Aye.
Mr. Nelson,
Aye.
Mr. Prespolinski,
Aye.
and Ms. Tillman.
Aye.
We have 9 in favor and no one opposed.
And the claims docket for January 2026 has been approved. Next on the council agenda, we have reports from boards and commissions. Are there any reports from boards and commissions? Councilman Prisbalinski.
Yeah, Madam President, just want to inform the board about the solid waste district. Tom Dermody, Mayor Tom Dermody, is now the president for the year 2026. And how the presidency of that board works is every year, like last year, Michigan City had it, so I was the president. This year, LaPorte has it. Tom Dermody's the president. Next year, LaPorte County will have it, so one of the commissioners will be the president. So it rotates every year, a new president, but it's on a 3-year cycle. So just wanted to explain that. So if you have any complaints, you can call Tom Dermody. He'd love to talk to you. Thanks. But you can still call me too. That's fine.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Moldenauer.
Thank you, Madam President. I wanted everybody to know that Northwest Indiana Green Drinks will be happening the first Thursday of February. That will be the 5th, and that's at 6:30 p.m. The topic will be moving conservation and water quality legislation forward in Indianapolis. Desi and Delaney of Indiana Conservation Voters will be our presenters for that. And I just saw them today down in Indianapolis at Renewable Energy Day. And you can join via Save the Dunes Facebook Live, or you may get the Zoom link from that's EM, short for Emily, at savedunes.org. I also wanted to let everybody know I was down in Indianapolis this morning for Renewable Energy Day, RED. There were probably about 200 residents of Indiana down there from across the whole state. And I fortunately was able to meet with our representative, Randy Novak. He spent 30 minutes down in the general area with me, listening to some of the speakers and discussing some important bills that are there. I'm very excited about a bill. It has come up the first time this year. It's called Plug-in Solar. And this is a way for individuals and people who have homes that can't have solar panels on the roof, or for renters, you buy a unit and you actually just plug it into your outlet, and it helps reduce the cost of your electric bill by running some of your appliances, if not all of them, on it during sunshine. And Utah already passed legislation on this. Ohio is moving very quickly on this, and we have two bills, one in the Senate and one in the House, that we're hoping to get a hearing this week. So if this is something that interests you, please contact Ed Soliday. I know he's in Valparaiso, but this bill is in his committee in utilities, and he's somebody that can actually give a hearing to this bill so it can be voted on and hopefully moved out to the floor for a vote. Very exciting. There's twin bills in the House and the Senate on this plug-in solar, simple and affordable. Also in March, I'm happy to let this commission know the Sustainability Commission will present their annual report. And we'll also be making a community award at that time. I'm bringing apologies to this body from the Sustainability Commission. We had a brand new chair this year, and our former chair was no longer on the commission. So we had sort of a very hard onboarding process. And we promise this will never happen again, that we're out of integrity by not reporting in the year that things happened. So that's what I have from the Sustainability Commission. Also, the Sustainability Commission was one of the sponsors for the Red Day in Indianapolis this morning. So our name was up on the big screen, and Michigan City received recognition because of that.
Thank you, Councilwoman Moldenauer. Are there any other reports from boards and commissions? If there are none, then we'll go on to reports of special or select committees. Any reports of special or select committees? Special or select committees? There are none. Reports from mayor or other city officers and departments. Reports from mayor or other city officers and departments. Do we have any reports from mayor or other city officers and departments?
Good evening.
Good evening.
I am here. Mayor Angie wasn't able to be here tonight, but January is National Mentoring Month, and I believe we have someone here from Family Advocate. Oh, hey guys. So unfortunately, Mayor wasn't able to be here, but she did put together a proclamation for Family Advocates in honor of National Mentoring Month, and so I'm just here to read it to you guys so that you understand why this is important to all of us as a community. And then I'll present it to you guys, okay? And if there's anything you guys want to say about Family Advocates or the mentoring program, you can say some words, okay? On this day, we proudly recognize and celebrate National Mentoring Month, honoring the mentors who make a meaningful difference in the lives of our children, families, and communities. Whereas mentoring relationships provide students with guidance, encouragement, and positive role models that contribute to academic success, personal growth, and long-term well-being. And whereas Family Advocates is a nonprofit organization that has served children and families throughout LaPorte County since 1995, working to strengthen families and support youth through prevention and early intervention programs. And whereas in September 2025, Family Advocates launched a new school-based mentoring initiative known as Wolfpack Leaders within Michigan City area schools, made possible through grant funding and strong collaboration with community partners. And whereas the Wolfpack Leaders program currently provides dedicated mentors to students at Pine Elementary School and Marsh Elementary School, fostering supportive relationships that encourage confidence, leadership, and positive decision-making. And whereas the success of this program is made possible through the commitment and generosity of volunteer mentors who invest their time and energy to make a meaningful difference in the lives of local students. Now, therefore, It says, I, Mayor Angie Nelson Deitch, do hereby recognize the significance of National Mentoring Month in the city of Michigan City as a time to honor the dedication and commitment of mentors who support and guide our children and families, and to reaffirm our community's shared commitment to fostering positive, supportive relationships for youth. Be it further resolved, I do hereby proclaim January as National Mentoring Month in the city of Michigan City, celebrating the meaningful impact of mentoring and the vital role mentors play in strengthening our community. And then it's signed Mayor Angie Nelson Deitch. Did you guys want to come up and say anything about your program?
I just want to take a minute to thank the council for allowing us to be here once again. I know we spoke a couple weeks ago. This endeavor is new to us coming to Michigan City. We've been in LaPorte, and it's been so great being welcomed so greatly by your community, about the school corporation. And I just encourage everyone here tonight in the crowd and even listening online to really consider being a mentor. It's really impactful for these students. Kamisha here is sitting next to me, and she got to meet today with a young man at Marsh Elementary, where he was matched with a Michigan City police officer. And Kamisha shared with me today the level of excitement this young man had. He was so excited. He was just bouncing, out of the classroom, ready to see his new mentor. One-on-one, interactions do not happen very much, in society. And just being able to provide an individual to go into the schools and just be there for them, it's just incredibly impactful. And we really hope to continue to see it grow within your city. So again, thank you. This means a lot to us. And thank you for your time again. Thank you.
If there are no other reports from boards and reports from mayor or other city officers and departments.
Madam President.
Yes, Dr. Cora.
I have a point. Madam President, over the past several weeks, we keep hearing about different issues related to Project Maze. And I did ask Mr. John Perret to come and give an update on what's going on, rather than just hearing this through emails and social media. So I think he is online. I think it's a good idea for us to get an update from periodically as to what's going on. Is that okay, Madam President?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Good evening. My name is Will Schroyer, and John should be on the Zoom, so he should be available as well. But I wanted to come up here and answer those questions that you had. First of all, thank you, counselors and member of the city, for allowing me to speak to you tonight and address the concerns. Specifically, I wanted to talk about October 9th. On October 9th, 2025, a workplace incident occurred at Phoenix Construction project site in Michigan City involving an employee of a subcontractor. The individual experienced a 28-foot fall from the facility and was transported to a local hospital for evaluation. He was released the same evening. The incident was documented and reported in accordance with applicable workplace safety requirements. Following the incident, Phoenix Construction cooperated fully with the Occupational Safety and Health Administration for a review of the circumstances. Phoenix Construction also engaged an independent third-party safety and risk firm to conduct an additional assessment. These reviews evaluate site conditions, training protocols, and adherence to established safety procedures. Phoenix Construction maintains rigorous safety expectations. All personnel on site are required to complete orientation, safety training, and OSHA required instruction, in addition to subcontractor-specific safety programs. There have been some public statements and rumors regarding this event that do not accurately reflect the information reviewed by regulatory authorities. Phoenix Construction has provided relevant documentation to OSHA as part of its cooperation process. Phoenix Construction remains committed to maintaining a safe and compliant work site and will continue to cooperate with local officials and regulatory agencies to ensure projects in Michigan City are developed responsibly. Thank you, Council, for allowing me to provide this update.
Thank you.
I have a couple of questions. But, I recognize this is not a city project. It is, it's a private development. But having said that, there's a lot of interest in the city about this project. We do get a lot of calls and emails from our constituents. And to the extent that you can either come up here or issue some press statements and update the community on what is going on and be as transparent as possible. It's in the best interest of everybody. It's the best interest of the community. It's in the best interest of your own business. And so I hope in future you continue to do that, and you can come up and maybe give a monthly update or something like that. I think that'll be good. And the concerns that people express to me are the following. Number one, they're concerned about their electric utility rates going up. Okay, so we want to make sure that whatever happens in terms of electric utility rates, the costs are borne by the businesses, your end user. Okay. The second thing is there was concern about water. Of course, in Michigan City, water is not a big problem. We have plenty of abundance of water. Pollution has been a concern, noise as well as light pollution. So I hope as we move forward, you address some of these concerns. I do want Michigan City to have a good economic development, but at the same time, we need to address the concerns that are being expressed by our community. So that way, it's a balanced approach of development and also addressing the concerns of the community.
Absolutely. And John and I are happy to answer any of those questions. Don't hesitate to reach out to us. Again, thank you for the invitation tonight. We'll be happy to come back in the future if you have any other, questions moving forward.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Awesome.
Councilman Przybylski?
Yeah, and not to have a full-scale investigation here this evening on any one topic, but one thing that kind of, I guess, caught my attention is when I got some of these social media information about that accident on October the 9th. The gentleman that, the way I understood, that he was transported, and correct me if I'm wrong, was he transported to the hospital by fellow workers or by an ambulance?
He was transported by his coworkers. Yeah. It was a judgment call made the night of how do we, quickly get somebody treatment, and it just seemed like the best option in the moment.
Okay. That doesn't seem very, in my estimation, I wouldn't have done that. You generally call a ambulance when you have a major, OSHA accident like that, somebody falling 27 feet. That's pretty serious. And just to put somebody in the back seat of a car and say, okay, let's take them to the hospital. I don't know how good of a, so is that your protocol? Is that what would happen? And we'll either put them in a car or put them in an ambulance and take them to the hospital?
Councilman Przybylski, can I just interject for one moment? I just,
sure.
I may have to refer this to council. Is this a pending matter still?
Yeah, OSHA
Because if
still,
it is, we're limited on what questions can be posed or asked or with getting a response back for the record. Thank you.
yes, OSHA is still in ongoing investigation right now.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, can you do us this favor so that, like the Councilman Cora is asking for clarification and transparency on major things that happen there, not day-to-day little things, but major things, which this is that the council's made informed, through an email or some type of communication so that we know when the public asks us what's going on, because then otherwise the public thinks that, we don't care. We're not keeping an eye on the project. And granted, this isn't a public project, but if you look at it, the city gave them, what, $300 million in tax abatement? So to me, it kind of is a public project where you guys got $300 million. So So that was my main question on what took place there, and keep the council informed. If not, then we will. And if you could, I don't know if you could just make a date once a month, come to the council meeting, the second Tuesday of the month, and have a report for what's progressing. And yeah, appreciate that. Thank you.
Absolutely. Happy to keep the council informed. Thank you for the opportunity tonight.
Councilman Beatrice.
I'd have to disagree with Councilman Prismalinski. This is a privately funded project that received a tax abatement under Indiana law. And tax abatement does not transfer operational control, safety enforcement, hiring oversight to the city. All responsibilities remain with the developer and the appropriate state and federal agencies. It's not a taxpayer-funded project, and I don't think that you need to necessarily let the council know everything that's going to go on, but I do think you need to let the city, the mayor know, because she needs to have it on the website. That's where I go, and that's where the public should go, not to the council. They should go to that website, and you should be current with that. As soon as OSHA makes a decision, I expect that I'm going to go to that site and read it. So I would ask that you please do that. But to send anything initially to us implies that we have initial jurisdiction of some kind, and we really do not. But I agree with Councilman Cora. The public needs to know, and the best way to do that is to put that on that website.
Noted. Thank you.
And I'll just like to add to conclude this is in regards to what Dr. Cora stated and Councilman Beatrice indicated. We've already discussed this at our first meeting of the month and end of December as well, where it was asked if information could be provided to us, and it is to go to the mayor and it will be uploaded to our site. But with that also being said, what inspections that is possibly warranted by the city, if any, they are doing their due diligence and following policy and procedures and the protocol in regards to that. If I'm not mistaken, there may have been a fine maybe about a week ago. So as far as the city goes, if there is anything that they have to do in their inspections, that they are doing what they're required to do as well. So I just want to make that clear. But as far as questions, comments, and concerns, we can regurgitate this every day, all day, once a month, quarterly, semi-monthly. It still stays the same, that this is a private development, and we put the emphasis on contacting Phoenix for the Project Maze, IDEM, and OSHA for statistics, and numbers as such. They are the ones that these matters or your concerns need to be addressed to, as a courtesy and to be transparent as far as what the council can do. We have done and provided what information we've had. The administrator and her staff has created a website as a courtesy to Phoenix, but these depth conversations or questions are questions that need to be handled and addressed from the developers themselves. So, other than that, are there any other?
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Councilman Dabney?
Yes, and I just wanted to state tax abatements and what they are. That was explained very well by Councilman Beatrice out there. But we do have a tax abatement committee that does meet, and they review all of the tax abatements that we have given out to these different firms and that build here in Michigan City. And so there is a public meeting that is held with our tax abatement committee where people can see if people are meeting the stipulation of a tax abatement. Just for example, I know we've given some where they've promised to make so much dollars in investment. they've promised to hire so many people and things of that sort. So our tax abatement committee does look at these and make the determination whether someone is following the tax abatement. And we have seen up here where there have been some where Clarence Hulse has come down from the EDCMC, and they've recommended that we get rid of a tax abatement because they are not upholding the stipulations that are set forth in the tax abatement agreement. So there will be tax abatement meeting that will come forth, and I'm sure we will announce that when it's coming. Thanks.
Thank you. And thank you, John, as well. Thank you, Will. Madam Clerk, on our agenda, we are on our petitions. Do we have any petitions for this evening?
There are no petitions this evening.
Madam Clerk, on our communications?
Correspondence was received in the clerk's office on January 15 from Eileen Mark regarding a 911 call for service at Project Mazement Data Center, 402 Royal Road, October 9th, 2025. Correspondence was also received on the January 13th from Ashley Williams regarding the body cam footage of the incident that took place October 9th, 2025 at Project Maze Data Center. A notice was received in the clerk's office on January 13th from IDEM regarding the approval of a permit for building materials manufacturing LLC. A notice of a public hearing was received on January 8th to be held at the zoning board meeting on Tuesday, January 13th, 2026 regarding crew car wash at 4353 Franklin Street.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Madam Clerk, our first resolution by title only for this evening.
A resolution by title only approving and authorizing the mayor to enter a joint interlocal cooperation agreement for the purchase and utilization of ethic training and administration services of a shared ethics advisory commission. And this is introduced by Ms. Tillman, Mr. Prespolinski, Ms. Lee, and Ms. Moldenauer.
And does any of the sponsors like to make any comments? Councilman Prespolinski.
Yeah, Madam President, basically what this resolution would authorize the city to do is that they would become part of this group. I don't know, there's like 10 cities, I believe, in Northwest Indiana, that the services to be provided under this agreement include, but are not limited to, ethics training, ethics policy review, ethics code administration, and such supplies that may be desirable in support of these services. And looking at the cost of this, I believe the cost is somewhere of around $10,000 to join this organization and to follow through with the materials that come about. So that's basically the way I understand what's going on with this resolution and joining this group.
Would any other sponsors like to comment? Dr. Ford?
Thank you, Madam President. I have been familiar with this commission for a while. When I was on the county commission, we voted to join this as a county. So the Port County is also part of this. And I think it's a good thing when employees of the county or the city, elected officials get to this training, they have a better handle on how to approach conflict of interest and things like that. And that way, everything is transparent and clear. So I think it's a good move on behalf of our city to join this, and I support it.
Thank you. I would like to open this up for public comments. Are there any public comments on this resolution? Any public comments on this resolution? Public comments on this resolution? If there are no public comments are now closed. Comments from the council? Councilman Beatrice?
I believe that we need to.
I'm sorry, Councilman Beatrice. My apologies. Go ahead.
I believe we need to do an amendment, really for clarification on the resolution under section 3. It cites the clerk treasurer is hereby authorized to attest and execute said agreement. we don't have a clerk treasurer. We have a clerk of the city clerk. So if we can just make an amendment to this document and anywhere else in the document where it states clerk treasurer and just substitute city clerk.
I second.
We have a motion on the floor by Councilman Beatrice and a second by Dr. Cora to make the amendments. Madam Clerk, on the vote, please.
Point of order. The one I got just says clerk. The one that was attached to the agenda tonight.
Mine says different treasurer.
There was two sent out, and one of them said clerk treasurer, and so did the
The original.
So I can tell you the one that's posted publicly online just says clerk.
Correct.
Because I was searching through it to try to find what you were referencing. So I guess the motion maybe would be just to clarify that we intend to refer specifically to the clerk, but I don't know that we.
I think what probably happened is we realized that we needed to make the amendment. So the amendment was made and probably posted, but we haven't officially amended it.
Okay.
So there is a motion on the floor. So, and there's a second. So Madam Clerk, on the amendment.
Mr. Coulter,
Aye.
Mr. Dabney,
Aye.
Dr. Cora,
Aye.
Ms. Lee. Aye. Ms. Moldenauer,
Aye.
Mr. Nelson, Mr. Prespolinski,
Aye.
Ms. Tillman,
Aye.
and Mr. Beatrice.
Aye.
We have 9 in favor and no one opposed.
The resolution has passed.
No.
Council,
That was
the amendment has, the amendment. Now, I would like to entertain a motion to adopt the amendment.
Motion to approve.
Support.
We have a motion by Councilman Prespolinski and a second by Councilman Beatrice. Madam Clerk, on the vote, please.
Mr. Dabney,
Aye.
Dr. Cora,
Aye.
Ms. Lee. Aye. Ms. Moldenauer,
Aye.
Mr. Nelson, Mr. Prespolinski,
Aye.
Ms. Tillman,
Aye.
Mr. Beatrice,
Aye.
and Mr. Coulter.
Aye.
We have 9 in favor and no one opposed.
Councilwoman Moldenauer.
Yes, Madam President and council members, I've noticed what is probably another error. In section 3, it says mayor of the city council in 2 places. In towns, actually, your mayor is the president of the city council. For us, that would not apply, so I think we need to change the language there. Section 3, that the mayor of the city council is hereby authorized. She's not part of our city council. So that's incorrect also. Mayor of the city, strike out council, and then it makes sense.
If that's a motion, I'll second.
There's a motion on the floor for section 3 of the resolution, where it indicates that the mayor of the city council be amended to reflect that the mayor of the city is hereby. And we have a second by Dr. Cora. Madam Clerk, on the vote, please, for the amendment to remove council.
We just adopted the resolution.
Oh, yeah, we did.
We adopted the resolution, so how can you make an amendment?
We
Yeah,
didn't.
we
They
did.
did adopt it. I think that you can do. This is one of those again that you would probably call a scrivener's error. However, I do think that it's appropriate to kind of formalize that the council recognizes that error and doesn't see it as being consequential. So I think we can approve the revision of the scrivener's error. Yes.
Madam Clerk, on the vote, please.
So we're doing, making a motion for a scrivener.
This is a motion to just approve the revision of that scrivener's error. Yes.
Dr. Cora.
Aye.
Ms. Lee. Aye. Ms. Moldenauer.
Aye.
Mr. Nelson. Mr. Prespolinski.
Aye.
Ms. Tillman.
Aye.
Mr. Beatrice.
Aye.
Mr. Coulter.
Aye.
And Mr. Dabney.
Aye.
We have 9 in favor and no one opposed.
Thank you. And thank you for pointing that out, Councilwoman Moldenauer. And Madam Clerk, if you would please, for our first ordinance on first reading by title only.
An ordinance on first reading by title only, creating section 78-7 in the Michigan City Municipal Code to designate Michigan City government-owned buildings as smoke-free facilities. And this is introduced by Mr. Preselinski and Mr. Bolton.
And do the sponsors have any comments they would like to make? Councilman Coulter?
Thank you, Madam President. In the process of submitting the ordinance to the clerk, a previous draft was floated over. So I need to make a motion to replace it with the correct draft, which the City Council received in their emails yesterday and the clerk received today. And I believe we're all holding a copy right now. Madam Clerk, I'd like to make that motion to substitute by amendment by substitution, the correct ordinance that we are holding.
I second that.
We have a motion for amendment by substitution and a second, motion by Councilman Coulter and a second by Councilwoman Moldenauer. Madam Clerk, on the vote, please.
Ms. Lee?
Aye.
Miss Moldenauer?
Aye.
Mr. Nelson?
Aye.
Mr. Preselinski?
Aye.
Ms. Tillman?
Aye.
Mr. Beatrice?
Aye.
Mr. Coulter?
Aye.
Mr. Dabney?
Aye.
And Dr. Cora?
Aye.
We have 9 in favor and no one opposed.
Madam President, point of order. And
Preselinski?
yeah, and what I want to bring up is, yeah, my name is on the agenda. Okay. But my name is not on the ordinance. So I didn't necessarily endorse this copy of the ordinance, not saying I'm not going to vote for it or discuss it. Yeah. So I just want to make sure everybody understands that my name is not on the ordinance.
On the amended.
Yeah.
Madam Clerk, if you would please, you are in the agreement with the amendments you did vote in favor of, and you would still like to be a sponsor for this change, correct?
Yes.
So Madam Clerk, Madam Clerk, if you would please add.
He amended it by substitution. It has Don's name. The first one I got had Don's name, that I resolved him. How do you want me to do this? He's not on this, the one we got rid of.
So the question is, Councilman Preselinski was listed as a sponsor on the incorrect draft of this ordinance, correct?
No, my name was put on the agenda of the sponsor.
So is
My
it your
name is not on this?
Is it your intention to be added to the new ordinance as?
No, I don't want to be added to the ordinance. That's what I'm saying.
That clarifies.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Motion to scratch that last statement by the President. So declare that up for transparency. Councilman Preselinski, as far as the agenda, has his name listed as one of the sponsors. He is not one of the sponsors and is not on the ordinance, and he is not requesting to be added as a sponsor. Okay.
Correct.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have public
So we need to have first reading on the ordinance now, right? Yeah, that's what we're
open the
gonna do.
public.
I'm sorry.
I would like to open this up to public comment on this ordinance. Are there any comments from the public?
Hello, Council.
Good evening.
Good evening. Thanks for having me here. I'll be quick. I would like to see this get approved.
Excuse me, sir, if you could please state.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was too busy saying hi. Stephen Kornacki, 5410 Rogowski. Dr. Cora already talked. I was going to ask you, what's your opinion on smoking? But you already gave it to us. So I'd like to see this passed, because you guys have already been talking about a smoking ordinance for about 2 months. So I've seen this a couple times here, so it'd be kind of nice to see if you guys do first hearing, second hearing, third hearing, and then pass it. And then you guys never have to do this again. So that's just my non-smoking public opinion. So, and if any of your constituents, co-workers have an issue, public sidewalk is not a municipal building, so they can go walk onto the public sidewalk and go smoke and then come right back in. But then if that's the case, then maybe throw some fresh air bricks for the people that don't smoke. So thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other public comments on this ordinance?
Hi, Tom Donigan, 205 East 11th Street. You guys have been working on this since September 16th of last year. Get it done, will you? You spent so much time on crap and not the important stuff in the city. Get it done tonight.
Are there any other public comments? This is the last call for public comments on this ordinance. Public comments are now closed. Comments from the council. Councilwoman Moldenauer.
Thank you, Madam President. I would like to be added as a sponsor on this ordinance, please. This is very personal to me, and I'm just going to share a very short story about my father. He started smoking at the age of 11, tried stopping numerous times, until at the age of 62, he was finally able to stop smoking. And that's because he retired. And he was no longer around his work buddies who used to light up every single coffee break and lunchtime. So for me, this is really important. And that people who really do desire to stop, that they're given at least half a chance of being able to do that because they're not exposed to smoke at the workplace. We've seen smoke eliminated in schools, healthcare facilities, restaurants, other places. So I feel, very strongly that Michigan City get in line with what now is common culture. So thank you.
Are there any Councilman Prisbalinski?
Thank you, Madam President. I think it's a good ordinance. I have some disagreements with some parts of it that I'd like to discuss. Just a couple items that I made note of. And yeah, and I do not smoke. I have never smoked. Okay. But right now, the ordinance calls for no smoking in city vehicles. Well, that's already policy with the city that you don't smoke in city vehicles. They're going to take the ashtrays out of the vehicles, which if you're going to smoke, you're going to smoke anyway. Who's going to enforce the ordinance? That's always a big question. Who's going to enforce the ordinance? Right now, you're not supposed to take dogs into the parks, but all summer long, or when it's nice out, you can see people walking dogs down the beach, out on the pier, in the parks. Is there a fine associated with this? If a police officer is going to walk up to somebody and say, hey, you can't smoke here, is there a fine associated with people not smoking? I don't know if we're going to go that far with telling people, all right, we're giving you a ticket because you're smoking a cigarette. From the employee standpoint, and right now you can't smoke inside of buildings anyway, city buildings. You can't smoke inside of city buildings. And so say break time comes and we say you can't smoke on city property, but is this going to allow the employee to go in his car and light up a cigarette? I mean, can they still go in their car although that car is sitting on a public parking lot, and the boss is going to go out there and knock on the window and say, hey, you can't do that. I think that might cause some real, negative relationships with the employees and the employer. I think what I'd really like to see the city do, because I think this is more focused after going after city employees than going after the public so much, is that we maybe hold classes for city employees for smoke cessation. I guess that's how you say it properly. Yeah, and give them the proper tools, information, and maybe schedule, okay, if you want to join this class, you're going to have to go to like maybe 4 or 5 classes to really see if you can progress in trying to get rid of smoking. And then the other thing that I've seen is, take for example, at the golf course, I don't know how many people golf on the city council. Joe Nelson golfs, I golf. I don't know how many folks out in the audience golf, but when you're out on a golf course, you are in the wide open. And if you want to smoke, or if you want to have a cigar because you're out relaxing, then I'm not going to be the one to tell you you can or you cannot. You're a grown adult. You should be able to make that decision on your own. And the secondhand smoke, I can guarantee you there isn't any secondhand smoke, because generally people are 5-10 feet away from each other, and they're very courteous of, how they're doing what they're doing as far as smoking goes. So I think especially, the golf course, that might be something to really take a look at and say, okay, maybe that's really pushing too far. Do we really need to do that? So those are my thoughts right now. And, and I applaud you, Greg, Councilman Coulter, for bringing this forward. And I think it's a good move. But maybe are we going with trying to tell everybody in Michigan City you can't smoke in Washington Park, you can't smoke at not Ames Field, because that's school system, but Gardena or what have you. And for some reason, I thought that the city council, I don't know, 6 years ago, looked at an ordinance, and maybe we already had something on the books pertaining to the parks, but I don't know, did we ever find anything?
No, I haven't.
No?
No.
Okay. So maybe not. But anyway, so that's my take right now. Yeah.
Council.
And just one more comment. I had people in my family pass away from lung cancer and that whole ordeal. And yeah, they smoked. And like Councilwoman Molinaro was saying, my dad, he smoked till he was probably 62, 65 also. And he was in the hospital for another ailment, but the doctor told him, hey, it might be a good idea if you get rid of those cigarettes. So as I walked him out of the hospital that day, he took his cigarettes and threw them in the bushes. He said, that's it. But eventually, he passed away when he was 83, and the end result was from lung cancer. So, yeah, smoking is bad, and I think we should try to curb it the best we can. But I think instead of just telling people, hey, don't smoke, and like this gentleman here said, if you're working in City Hall, you're going to take a walk across the street over by Galveston's, or you're going to walk right to the end of the sidewalk here and go on the other side of the street and have a smoke. Now, I'm not saying that's right, but it's probably in reality what's going to happen if you got to have a cigarette bad enough. So I'm looking at it more from the sensation prevention side of things instead of just telling people, hey, stop smoking. Thank you.
So those questions were directed to you, Councilman Coulter. If you have a response in regards to that.
Yeah, I think I filled a page with notes. I really want to thank Council members Moldenhauer and Przybylski for their vulnerability and sharing their family history and talking about loved ones who have passed away from tobacco use. It's something that I think is really helpful just to have an honest conversation in our community about what this means and what it looks like. When I was the tobacco coordinator for LaPorte County, I was one of the last ones before we kind of moved that around a bit in our community. I made this graphic that I was using a little bit. I wasn't really sure how much I kind of felt like it was accurate because it's so sensational to look at the tobacco numbers in our community. So like I said, it's like 24% right now. And we know that half of people who use tobacco products will die of nicotine and cancer related to tobacco-related illnesses. I'm not saying that exactly right, but so we can do that math a little bit in our heads. So if you imagine 100 graves, if you imagine 50 graves, let's go with 100 graves. Sorry, I need to be specific. So you got that picture in your head of Greenwood Cemetery. Something close to 90% of those graves aren't from tobacco-related illnesses. Another 8 to 12%, if you divide 24 by 2, 8 to 12% of people passing away of tobacco-related illnesses. And then there's another 4% of people who died from secondhand smoke. So people who never once in their life bought a pack of cigarettes dying from tobacco-related illnesses. So that's one of the things that really motivates me to this work is that 4% of people in Greenwood Cemetery who never once in their life bought a pack of cigarettes. That doesn't start to answer any of Mr. Przybylski's questions. So let's look at parks. We are the third city council in a row to look at the question of smoking in parks. The first was with Sharon Karnes in 2 councils ago. Delia Zegas brought up this question in the last city council, and now this is the third one in a row where we're looking at this. So I agree with the sentiment from the public that let's get this over. Not only have we been talking about this in September, but in 2008, Mayor Angie introduced legislation to get smoke-free bars and restaurants. So we've been talking about this since at least 2008, not September. Okay, so then looking at the top where I've got it that the vehicles would have their ashtrays removed. I'm unsure if we have a policy about no smoking in vehicles, but the ordinance as it's written introduces having a sticker on all of the city-owned vehicles saying that it's no smoking. And then the ordinance that is before us also talks about ashtrays. So removing them in vehicles, but also removing them here at City Hall, removing them in parks. If it's smoke-free grounds, we don't need ashtrays. Also, ashtrays kind of give this image that you're allowed to smoke there. I don't think anybody's going to disagree with that. You might not be able to smoke past it, might be the image, but if you see an ashtray, you kind of know that you can smoke. So if we're going to go smoke-free grounds, you take out the ashtrays. And that helps me get to enforcement. Excuse me. So when I was the tobacco coordinator, there was always this question about like, how do we make sure that young people don't get addicted to tobacco? And one of the questions there is what is the relationship between schools and youths who are smoking? And so it was the model policy from the American Lung Association is to not have punitive measures with youth. And I think that's the same thing we need to look at with adults. Why are we ticketing people for their addictions? We know that half of people who use tobacco products want to quit. They don't need a $100 fee from the city to help them want to quit. They know they want to quit. We need to help them quit by having smoke-free signage. We need to help them quit by not having people beside them at the beach who are lighting up a cigar when they're trying to have a nice picnic with their kids. We need to just support people who want to quit smoking through this ordinance by having positive things in front of them to allow them to do that. I'll get back to the smoking in cars, but this is a good time to talk about the smoking cessation classes. So my most recent quit attempt, which was after the data center, I used the Quit Now link, text link. That number is, you can type in Quit Now to your phone, but I don't think we really do that anymore. 333-888 is the texting link. And that was fantastic. That really was a great way to get coached through the quitting process. It breaks it down into setting your quit date, which is not today. Very few people have any success quitting cold turkey. We know that people who have a coach, like through the Quit Now link, and if you're a phone call person, you can call 1-800-QUIT-NOW, but I think most people are texting people. So it's 333-888. And I think there might be a more specific Indiana number to surely have that. We don't. Okay, so nationally it is 333-888. That is very easy to remember. And I would absolutely recommend it. As the tobacco-free coordinator, we would have conversations about cessation classes. And it's not as successful as the quit number, just because the quit number allows you to just look at your phone and get a reminder that you're doing a great job not smoking today. Another thing that you made a comment about was, Mr. Prespolinski, was the golf courses. My response to that is that I'm one of 9 people up here. If somebody makes an amendment to exempt a golf course, then we'll vote on it. And then getting back to smoking in cars. I don't know if there's an answer to that right now, about if we had smoke-free grounds, if you can go sit in your car to smoke. But that would be something I'd like to have an answer about by next time, for sure.
So this ordinance, Councilwoman Lee?
Thank you, Madam President. Madam Clerk, I would also like to be added as a sponsor on this. There are a few reasons for that. One, personally, both of my maternal grandparents did die of lung cancer from smoking all of their lives. And my maternal aunt currently has lung cancer. Thankfully, my mom broke that cycle, and I did not grow up in a smoking house, and I don't smoke. So that aspect of it. Also, as a middle school teacher, I see 7th and 8th graders vaping all the time. So for us to start here, while this is not going to fix everything, it's a great start. And if it can help a few people quit and then not pass it on to their kids and our current students and our future students, that's a big deal. And then this can also help get this conversation going in Michigan City to hopefully help decrease that 24%. And also, according to a study done by Johns Hopkins University, 25 to 40% of all litter globally is related to cigarettes. So to not have as much litter in our parks or around our city in regards to cigarette butts and wrappers or anything like that, I think is very important also.
Councilman Prespolinski? Oh, okay. Dr. Cora?
Yeah, thank you, Madam President. I appreciate everybody's comments. Yes, we do see the health effects, but just to put some, life is very important, but I also, from the economic perspective, if whenever I go and make rounds, at least 25% of the patients I see on my hospital service, they're smoking related, at least, if not more. And if you look at it in the United States, almost about $250 billion with a B of healthcare costs are directly related to smoking, the healthcare costs. And indirect costs are even higher. So every way you look at it, how it affects their health, how it affects their family's health, how it affects the kids, how it affects their pocketbooks. It's a losing proposition. So I think it's the only thing I would say is, instead of this being punitive, like we said, we need to work with our members of the community and help them quit smoking by education.
Councilman Beatrice?
Madam Clerk, I'd like to be added as a sponsor as well. This takes me way back to when I was principal of Elston High School, and at that point, in time, teachers could smoke in the building, students couldn't. But there were departmental areas, English department, math department, science department. In their departmental areas, they were allowed to smoke. And of course, that smoke filtered out of those rooms and into the halls to kids. And one of the teachers grieved it, wrote a grievance through the union to me, saying they didn't want smoking in our building anymore, and didn't make him popular with some of their colleagues because they were smoking. But I granted the grievance, and I said, "That's it. We have a week, and then Elton High School is going to be non-smoking for adults." And it went above me to the superintendent, and they spent probably 2 months arguing over whether they should overrule me or not, and they eventually didn't. So Elston High School went smoke-free, and I think the others did as well after that. So I'm still fighting the battle. Add me as a sponsor as well. Thank you.
Thank you. If there are no other comments from the,
Ms. Williams, did you have an answer about the car question, smoking in your car? Could you, sorry, we're mic people here in Michigan City. Want the people online to hear you.
When you're talking about city employees where they can smoke, if you can't smoke on city grounds, if they go and smoke in their cars on city grounds, obviously that wouldn't work to your question. But if they drove away, if they drove off of city grounds, if they took their break and drove away, that would obviously constitute as something they could do as a certain phase. If there is a spot near the city building that you have in mind that would be away, you can designate that as a smoking spot. That's not something we typically love to see, but with this being a municipal policy kind of only affecting city employees and people who visit these city buildings, I think in this case that would be okay if that was a designated spot. And then if I could take the opportunity to answer your enforcement question, I think that might help clear this up a little bit. So smoke-free air laws, like most laws like this, we know that people, for the most part, are law-abiding citizens. So if they see a sign that says no smoking here, they're likely not to smoke there. Of course, you've got your people who ignore that, but that number is few and far between. So along with the proper signage of this being kind of a self-enforcing law, right, there comes this social norm change that, hey, we're smoke-free grounds now in these places. Emails sent to all city employees of this change help spread that awareness and educate people about this as well. But I've got to agree with Councilman Coulter about this being non-punitive because that's where we see the most effects. When you've got a 100% smoke-free air law in a city or a county, there's a different enforcement piece, right? Because the onus is on the business owner. The penalty goes to the business owner for allowing people to smoke inside. It's never usually on the person who's doing the smoking or the vaping. I hope that answers your questions a little bit.
Absolutely, yeah, thank you.
Thank
That really helps with the clarification that it's on the business owner and we are the business owner. So thank you.
Thank you. If there are no other comments from the council, this ordinance will be held over for second reading. Madam Clerk, on our next ordinance on second reading by title only.
An ordinance on second reading by title only, creating section 78-7 in the Michigan City Municipal Code to prohibit smoking within 20 feet from the public entranceways of Michigan City government building. And this is introduced by Mr. Lewinsky, Dr. Cora, Mr. Coulter, and Mr. Beatrice.
And do the sponsors have any comments, Council?
Yeah, Madam President, I'm going to withdraw my sponsorship for this.
Madam President, I'm also going to withdraw my sponsorship.
Madam President, I'm also going to withdraw my sponsorship.
I'll withdraw mine also.
So this ordinance is no longer on the table. Next on our agenda, unfinished business.
Madam President, yeah, not to interrupt, but a point of order. Because after all the sponsors take their names off of it, the next protocol is to ask if anybody wants to pick it up.
Thank you, Councilman Przybylski. I would like to ask if any of the other council members would like to pick this ordinance up. Would any of the other council members like to pick up this ordinance? There are none, then this ordinance is void. Thank you for pointing it out, Councilman Przybylski. Next on our agenda, we have unfinished business. Madam Clerk, please, if you will read through that.
Okay,
the new business was moved up earlier in the agenda. No, you're okay. Okay, Madam Clerk, if you would, please, on unfinished business.
the council has 3 appointments to the Michigan City Social Status of African American Males Commission representing the following and will expire February 15, 2026. Council appointments, Stacey Beddings, a 2-year term. Michigan City Area Schools, Dwayne Hurt, 2-year term. NAACP, Michael Jones was 2 years and he resigned. And we did receive a letter from the NAACP appointing Linda Faye Conley as their representative.
Okay. And do we have any other
I think you have to
application? I just want to make sure that we don't have any other application.
For the council, I have. Oh, let's see. Wait, council appointment, social status. Okay, we have, that's Linda Faye Conley. We also have Cordell Atkins for the council. Appointment Tommy Kabalik, Danny Armstrong. And those are the 3 appointments that I have that would like to serve as a council.
Okay, so then we'll go to the NAACP one. Would anyone like to accept the appointment for Linda Faye Conley as the replacement on the NAACP?
So moved.
Support.
Motion by Councilwoman Lee, second by Councilman Nelson. On the vote, please.
Ms. Nelson?
Aye.
No, hold on. Ms. Moldenauer?
Aye.
Mr. Nelson?
Aye.
Mr. Przybylski?
Aye.
Ms. Tillman?
Aye.
Mr. Beatrice?
Aye.
Mr. Coulter?
Aye.
Mr. Dabney?
Aye.
Dr. Core?
Aye.
And Ms. Lee?
Aye.
We have 9 in favor and no one opposed.
Congratulations, Miss Linda Faye Conley. You are now on the NAACP for the social status. Madam Clerk, if you could re-give the names for the council appointments again.
We have Linda Faye was Cordell Atkins, Tommy Kabalik, and Danny, is it Danny or Danny Armstrong? I'm sorry. So we need nominations for tonight.
Attorney Snow, is it a conflict to have a family member to serve on the same board?
I don't know of an ordinance or statute that would prohibit that. I think typically when you're talking about conflicts of interest, you're talking about a situation where somebody has a financial interest in the business of the committee, or someone is in a position of supervision over another one to where they could confer some kind of benefit on them. I think, I mean, without doing research in the code, I can't give you a conclusive answer on that, but I can tell you as I sit here, I don't know of a specific ordinance that would prohibit that.
Okay. So I would like to open up nominations for the council appointments.
For what board is that, Madam President?
This is for the Michigan City Social Status of African American Males.
May I ask for clarification? Is Stacy Benning still in the running or not?
I did not receive an application.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that.
I'd like to open up as stated, open up the nominations for the Michigan City Social Status of African American Males. We have a Cordell Atkins, a Tommy Kalavic, and a Danny Armstrong. Are there any nominations for any of those individuals? Are there any nominations to the social status of any three of these individuals that I have named? Councilman Prisbalinski? Is Councilman Dabney?
Yes, I'm questioning the fact that we're doing nominations. It's not on the agenda. It's not asking us for nominations at this time. It should come up on the next agenda, and then we do nominations of the people that are listed. Because it's not on the agenda. Can we just break the?
Well, all the appointment, I know that it doesn't say that it's council appointment, nominations, but it is a council appointment and all of them are done. I guess I can wait till the next meeting, it's totally up to you.
I'm the liaison. I want to get clarification from Stacey Benton as well. I thought she was on this.
I didn't receive an application, so, we have a file that we keep, and some of these are from like July, October, of last year.
It's only about I didn't want to do it.
Well, they're good for 1 year. I have to keep them for 1 year.
Right. So Attorney Snow, the question is, because the nomination is not indicated on the agenda, would it be appropriate not to do open nominations at this time and to add it to our upcoming council meeting on our council agenda?
Your ordinance on the subject reads that 2 meetings before the meeting where they're elected, the president announces that nominations will be accepted at the next meeting. So that was the last meeting. Applications have to be submitted by noon of the Thursday before the next meeting. So that would have been last Thursday.
Correct.
Okay. So then it says 1 meeting before the election meeting, nominations can be made for any person, but only such persons for whom a candidate's form has been filled out. To be a candidate, a person must receive a nomination and at least 1 statement of support. So your ordinance to me would suggest that nominations are supposed to be done at this meeting.
Correct.
It didn't appear on the agenda, I guess directly stated, but that's what the ordinance would intend for you to do.
Okay. And for the record, I did not approve the agenda. It was sent out after. So with that being said, we do have nominations on the floor. And so I'm asking, are there any nominations for the social status of African American males? Again, the nominations are for a Cordell Atkins, Tommy Kalavic, and Danny Armstrong. So we have 3. These are the only ones. And again, applications is year to year. If they have not submitted their applications, which was due by Thursday at noon, then this is who we have. And we thank you for those that did submit their applications. Councilman Prisbalinski.
Yeah, I would just like to say that these 3 individuals submitted their applications, and no one else has, and that's what the ordinance states, and it's time to vote on them, then
Let's vote.
if somebody needs to be nominated, I nominate all three because they're the only three that are here.
Support. We only one, right?
We only need one.
Why not? If there's, council has 3 appointments to the Michigan City Superintendent.
Right, the NAA, we have to have one from the NAACP, the Michigan City Area Schools, and the council appointment.
I know.
So what do we?
So council only has one
So we
appointment.
only got one
We
appointment.
only have one appointment
Okay.
out of the three. So if you would please state the name that you would like to nominate. Each council member, Madam Clerk, if you would do a vote from each council persons to ask who would they like to nominate out of the three.
Asking me to ask them to nominate, that is, that's not appropriate.
May I ask what's
Oh, okay, so the
right? I'm asking for nominations right now.
so the ordinance, the requirement of the ordinance is in order to be nominated, you need to have a nomination and a statement in support. All right.
Correct.
So that's got to come from the floor. And I guess the ordinance says, as I'm looking at it, the ordinance says nobody will receive a nomination if they don't have the nomination and the statement in support. So arguably you could say nobody has to be nominated, but then you're going to have to figure out what you're going to do about filling your committee appointment.
May I ask a question, please?
Yes.
All right.
I'm not the president.
Councilman Dabney?
Yeah, just looking at this now, the NAACP, they get their own person that they assign. It doesn't take away one of our nominations.
Right, we only have
We
one.
only have one.
Why does it say 3?
Because one is for the NAACP,
That's not a council appointment.
but it says
Correct.
one for
Is
the,
the NAACP and a council appointment?
it says council appointment, Michigan City area.
I can clarify, Councilman Dabney. I can clarify. So this is an ordinance 2-457. The subhead is it's B and then B2B. 8 appointments shall be made by the Common Council in staggered fashion. The appointed members shall be members of or participants in the following entities. So one from Human Rights Commission, one from Minority Health Partners, one from the Swanson Center, one resident appointed by the Common Council in odd years, one from Michigan City Area Schools, one from NAACP, and one member of the council appointed by the council in even years, and one city resident appointed by the council in even years. So every odd year and every even year, the council has one appointment to this. All the rest of them have to come from membership of some other body.
And these are all due this year.
So, right, but the council isn't here to nominate the person from the NAACP or the schools. So they are council appointments, but they're directed by what the other agency does.
They just vote on what they have.
Right. So in terms of the one that you need to nominate, you would be nominating the one city resident who's appointed by the council,
Which,
based on the applications that were submitted.
correct.
Madam President, I nominate Mr. Atkins.
I'll support.
Mr. Atkins. Okay, nomination by Dr. Cora. From Mr. Atkins and supported by Tim.
I'd like to nominate Mr. Danny Armstrong.
Support.
Are there any other nominations? Councilman, are there any other nominations? There are no other nominations. Nominations are now closed. And the two nominations is Danny Armstrong and Cordell Atkins.
And we'll do the vote at the next meeting.
Yes. And for council, so that you are aware, the vote for these two will be held to the next council meeting. Madam,
Okay, now we can go on.
yes, ma'am.
Thank you. The council has one appointment to the Michigan City Tree Board representing a neighborhood association. And the incumbent is Laura Henderson, Elston Grove. Term expires February 15, 2026.
Thank you.
I did receive an application from Wendy Willis, but she does belong to the Elston Grove, but like the rest of them, you'd have to get a letter from the neighborhood association. I don't know if
Correct.
she knows that. And I just received it this afternoon.
And I know this is out of term, but I'm going to just add, just keep in mind, all council members, I know I can't make it mandatory, but because we're looking at boards and commissions that needs to be refilled, we do have an upcoming training. We have a upcoming training that is needed. So please open your calendars and to put this on to schedule to be in attendance, because it is highly needed, so that we will be able to move forward and to get some clarity and questions answered on the proper formalities, how the boards and commissions and the council meetings are supposed to be ran. So with all due respect, so please try to be available. And I want to say, I believe it's the 27th of this month?
The 29th.
The 29th. Okay, the 29th.
5 o'clock.
5 p.m. Next, we will open this up for comments from the public. Comments from the public at this time?
To make that comment.
I got you, right?
Can I make that comment? They share the chance.
My time gonna start yet.
Before.
I'll take, you usually go first, I'm gonna go first on you. How y'all doing today?
And before you start, Mr. Fly, as again, all public comments are 3 minutes, and we ask that you please state your name and your address for the record. Yes.
How you doing? Hi, everybody. Good to see you all. Dr. Core, Mr. This here, young man. We got to do a greeting first, because people get up here and get a little nervous. I'm counting the seconds. I'm about at 20 now. So what I got going on here is a gun safety program from Fly High Youth Services, nonprofit organization. Last year we had an increased violence gun usage within the youth. Probably was record setting. Yeah, it wasn't no probably to it. Deaths and shootings of the youth, from the gas stations to their homes to the streets to dragging them from over there right at the club right behind City Hall. So we opened up a program that's a gun training program, and it starts April. And it's Fly High Youth Gun Training, and it's free. It's 4 classes, 4 groups. And we're going to do that free for the youth, and we're going to try to continue this on out throughout the year, try to curb some of the violence within the inner cities. You know, mostly we deal with inner city male, black, less fortunate youth, 16, 19, even up to 24 and 25. You know, they never had gun training. Even myself, I hadn't had it, and I got a gun permit. So what I'm trying to say is we're not privileged enough to have our parents and cousins and brothers and sisters to teach us or take us somewhere to show us gun etiquette. This year, I just can't stand for all them kids to get shot like that. I mean, it's hurting me. If some of our youth and Fly High youth were getting shot, some of our youth would, you know, it's just terrifying. You almost had it where we had shut down our program. Because, you know, hey, I'm not riding this bus. You know, I'm bulletproof vest up and all this, but hey, what you guys got going on here? One youth gets shot in the leg the other day, and he's limping on the bus. I asked him where his gun, got it on. Hey, brother, take that back in the house. You know, and this and that. You know, we run a strict ordeal. So, oh man, tried to get it out. So yeah, that time of the year is coming again next year, you guys. I hope you all do great. Just trying to get it all out, man. Whew, gotta love it. Where I'm at, Count Keeper. Miss for now, where I'm at about 2 minutes. All right, so yeah, what we got also going on is we got after school programming going on currently. I've been injured lately with a bed sore wound about stage 4. I've been slow. I've been hiring people, even the mayor's daughter, to help us with our programming. And it's been slower and this and that, but it's picking up because I'm back out here hustling. That's why I'm here at City Hall and I'm explaining to the community what we got going on officially. We have a big Sprinter bus. We have another bus. We have a pickup bus, and we got all kind of things that we're giving out for free to other youth organizations that need rides. That they have field trips and don't have transportation. Fly Youth give them that transportation for free if they're a youth organization or organization providing for the community. They're free of charge, free gas, free drivers. Good job. Keep it up, man. Hope to see you all return. I think I voted for all you.
Thank you, Mr. Fly.
Yes, ma'am. Any questions? Any questions? All right. I'm fine.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
You're welcome. All right, folks.
Good evening, Brian Gross, 830 West 6th Street. Just a little observation about the Phoenix project. I have worked with standby generators in commercial environments, and I've done a survey in an industrial plant and stuff on energy usage and things like that. As far as the pollution and this comment is based on the pollution that the diesel generators are going to make. And I haven't researched what specific models they have, just generally what they're putting in. And I haven't researched school bus engines, how many hours they have or anything like that. But rough calculations tell me that in an average year, the Phoenix project will probably emit less pollution than all the school buses in LaPorte County do in 1 or 2 days. Just to give you an idea of how much, they're just blowing this way out of proportion. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
You.
Stephen Kornacki, 5410 Rogowski. I just want to say Dr. Cora, Chris Belinsky, and I'm drawing a blank. Dabney, thank you for your guys' comments towards the data center. I'm glad you brought up about the abatement and about how they have to meet certain criteria and still get approved. So it's nice for them to know that. The big thing that I wanted to say was they mentioned that they're not causing NIPSCO rates to go up. One thing I would suggest is Fox 32 actually just called right before this meeting to NIPSCO and asked them about things, because if you look at on Facebook, it's called, somebody just made a group the other day, NIPSCO Monopoly Frenzy, I think, or NIPSCO Monopoly. If you look up NIPSCO Monopoly, it'll pop up. Everybody's posting their bills. The thermite charges, or the therm charges, sorry, not thermite. Some people have bills of like $30, no electric use, no gas used, or maybe very little, but the charge was $30 for the therm. NIPSCO told Fox 32, and it was all online, just watched it before I came here. They told them that the therm charge is not just delivery. I need to back up. It's not just delivery. It's actually infrastructure improvements. Why do we need infrastructure improvements? How many data centers went in the past couple of years? So just want to let you guys know that. I know that Project Maze, they have money going towards infrastructure, but for me and the public, and maybe somebody can let me know clarification on this. To me, that's infrastructure for the substation that's on their property. What about the infrastructure around there? $100,000, I think that's what it was designated, or $300,000. To me, that doesn't sound that much for infrastructure based on labor charges, cost of everything. Copper, shoot, we're talking about $6 a pound now. Like, copper's crazy. I need to redo the plumbing in my house, and I don't want to go to PEX, but I might have to go to PEX. One thing I do want a clarification on, Dabney. Last meeting, you brought up an income tax increase. What in the budget for 2026 is not getting met due to SEA 1? And then my follow-up question is, you gave us a wheel tax. Our sewer and trash is supposed to go up. Now you want to talk about floating an income tax. What happens if SEA 1 gets backtracked? Property taxes go back to what it was. Are you guys going to come back and say, hey, okay, I know we've charged you a wheel tax. I know your water bill's gone up. I know I charged you more income tax. Are you going to come back and say, hey, all those taxes that we increased, we're going to decrease? Because until SEA 1, I don't know any time or back in World War II when they made interest rates 25%. I see, I'm done. When are you guys going to come back and say, okay, we gave you all those taxes, we're going to decrease them now? I know that happens.
Thank you. Are there any other public comment?
Dominic Yankee, 904 Willow Spring Drive. I would like to thank Councilman Greg Coulter and the American Lung Association for the presentation on smoking and secondhand smoke. I can't wait for the new smoking ordinance to be implemented. Hopefully the representatives from the American Lung Association can join us for the next council meeting and give a presentation on the future health impacts of the 70 diesel generators that will be at the Project Maze data center. Regarding the school bus comment, I remember when I was younger how the diesel fumes from school buses would make it hard for me to breathe when school let out. I don't doubt that gentleman's calculations, but consider how these 70 generators will be located in one location, whereas city buses are dispersed across the city. On the topic of the data center, I would like to thank Dr. Cora for getting a Phoenix representative to attend this council meeting. However, I had heard that the worker fell 70 feet, not 28 feet, as stated by the Phoenix representative. Furthermore, when I contacted Desiree from Indiana OSHA and provided 911 transcripts and later body cam footage, she didn't mention any communications or cooperation from Phoenix, so I'm very skeptical about their statement to have cooperated with OSHA. I would like to thank Councilman Prespolinski for pointing out that City Council does have an interest in ensuring that operations are conducted appropriately at the 402 Royal Road property due to the substantial tax abatements they were provided. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. This will be the last call for public comment.
Hi, Tom Donnigan, 205 East 11th Street. At the last council meeting, I urged you to create and pass a resolution in support of Indiana and the 20 states that are going before the Supreme Court to try and get some relief regarding panhandling. So where is it? My guess is not going to happen. You can't tell me there wasn't enough time to get a resolution ready for this meeting, because on August 27th last year, the governor said the prison wasn't going to close, and the very next week there's a resolution by you condemning it. October 27th last year, the governor announced a redistricting vote, and the very next week you passed a resolution condemning that. On December 15th, the Attorney General announced that Indiana was joining 19 other states seeking panhandling relief from the Supreme Court. A month later, nothing. You can't tell me panhandling isn't a big enough problem here in Michigan City, because it's crazy here, and you all know it. So I guess the reason because you don't want to do a resolution is because you don't care about the panhandling. Is the reason you don't want to do a resolution because the Attorney General isn't a Democrat like all of you. I'll tell you this. People in Michigan City, if you don't know it by now, are fed up with the panhandling. Maybe you're not going to the store and having someone approach you going into the store while you're in the store and going out of the store. Maybe you're not pumping gas and getting approached by 2 or 3 beggars while you're getting your gas pumped. Maybe you're not using an ATM where the beggars are coming up to you in your car. Maybe you've never even been approached cutting your grass out in front of your house. That's happened to me, and that's stupid. You know, people tell me, why don't you go to another place to shop where you won't get harassed by beggars? Why don't you go to another gas station where you won't get harassed by beggars? Why don't you go to another bank where you won't get harassed by beggars? Why don't you go somewhere else and cut your grass so you won't get harassed by beggars? You want to know why I'm not going to other places? Because that's giving up. And I'm not doing that. You're not creating and passing a resolution in support of the states and their people trying to get some relief shows that you are giving up, or you have given up. When the mayor talks about homelessness and panhandling, she cites Bloomington as a model for what she wants for Michigan City. If any of you have taken a look at what's going on there, you'll find that Bloomington got worse. More homeless, panhandling vagrants went there. Is that what you want for Michigan City? Isn't this problem big enough here? A simple resolution supporting an effort to get some relief out of control panhandling would have gone a long way to show Michigan City residents that you put them first. But you can't even do that. And by the way, on October 21st last year, a business owner presented you with a nuisance ordinance to help with the vagrants. Has there been any movement on that? I don't think so. Oh, and I don't want to hear from you or any of you on the council saying that I should call the police or we should call the police when vagrants are harassing us. Tommy Kolovic said it best at that December 11th town hall you had about homelessness.
Mr. Donnie.
No offense to the police officer here.
Mr. Donnie.
Michigan City Police doesn't do anything about the vagrants. I'm done.
Thank you, sir.
I'll make a 5-second.
No, you'll get you. I apologize. The public comments are now closed. This is now open up to council comments. Councilman Beatrice. Oh, Councilman Dabney. His light was on.
Oh.
Councilman Dabney.
Yes, real quick, addressing what was said about tax increases and things and the effect of was a SEA 1. I know they're in committee and discussing these things. If they were to reverse one of these laws, obviously it changes the outlook of the city in terms of finances. We can only go with what's been passed, right? They have put limits that we receive in terms of property taxes. There was something going on with our paving dollars where they wanted us to pass a road tax in order to be able to get into a second level of dollars that would come from the state in order to pave our roads. I mentioned there was $4.2 million that was taken off the table from the public safety lit, which we're going to have to make up some kind of way. And at the time, we were talking about possibly passing our own public safety lit, which is an income tax increase. When the county did that, it was a 0.5 percentage point, but using the whole county. Michigan City's share of those dollars from the whole county was the $4.2 million. But if we go back and do a calculation just using Michigan City, there's no way that we can come up with $4.2 million. It's going to be short. In terms of fees and that, I'm mashing a lot of things together here. In terms of fees, we did a fee study talking about trash pickup and other fees around the city. And that was not because of any of the laws that were passed by the state. These were things that were analytics that were done and helped with Baker Tilly to talk about the things that we need to do here in Michigan City in terms of paying for the services that we offer as a city. So there was a lot of things mashed up in there, but you cannot make a call, whatever it may be, until you get actual dollars, until you find out what type of laws and how they're going to affect you. Is it going to cut property taxes? If they go back and put that back in there where more property taxes comes into the city, of course, we will have to look at adjusting things that we've done in the past. So it all shakes out that way. That's just simple finance 101, but that's how it works.
Dr. Cora?
Thank you, Madam President. Last week, I was on a conference call, excuse me, that was organized by AIM, which is the Association for Indiana Municipalities. And the discussion was about the lit tax. And there's a lot of information that we need to digest and to see how it's going to impact. While we are collecting that information, right now the legislature is in session. There's some movement towards maybe addressing some of the adverse effects of the SEA1. So I would suggest that maybe we should, as a council, have a conference call with AIM and see how Michigan City is specifically will be affected, and then we can advocate with our elected officials as to how they can help us correct it, that way we don't have to impose a separate lit tax for the city.
Councilwoman Moldenauer.
This is an update, specifically probably for my constituents who live in Ward 6. I did attend the item hearing, and while there, I pointed out clean alternatives to the diesel generators, which were rebuffed because Indiana doesn't have any state laws which regulate the use of diesel generators. Also, I invited two experts to attend that meeting with me. Retired Representative Pat Boy was there, and also Deborah Shore, who is the retired EPA administrator from Region 5, which is the Chicagoland area. They came and gave testimony also. So there were at least three of us that were there pointing out what could be done and hopefully what we would want for the future in Indiana. Also, I coordinated communication between the tree board chair and the contracted city forester with concerned residents in Ward 6 regarding old growth beech trees that were scheduled to be cut down and ultimately got cut down. The one tree that was in question, it was reevaluated by our city forester, and it received an extremely high hazardous potential that it could have fallen down and hurt property, person, or animals in the area. When they did cut it down, they took a picture of it, and the interior of it truly indeed was hollowed out. So that call to cut that tree down was really a wise one, especially keeping in mind several years ago there was a resident killed in Michigan City because of a branch that fell off of a tree. It was on private property, but these types of things are things we can prevent from happening with this $1 million grant. Also, I coordinated a meeting with a resident and again the chair of the tree board and our contracted city forester regarding a person that was interested in wood reuse. And as far as I know, he's decided not to proceed with the meeting with the Board of Works, which is what would be required to actually remove materials from city property. So just to get everything cleared up, and this is the role I played in this. And regardless of what people are sharing around social media, I have been present, I have been doing my job, and I'm always available. And my email is nancyforvision@gmail.com. That's nancyforvision@gmail.com. Please feel free to contact me. And I do appreciate those residents of Ward 6 that have contacted me regarding these issues. Thank you.
Councilman Przybylski.
Thank you, Madam President. Just a couple items. And Dr. Cora, to piggyback on your discussion with AIM, to get in contact with them. Well, I saw State Representative Novak yesterday, yeah, and I asked them after they get out of session to come to a council meeting or hold a workshop with the city council, because I remember State Senator Jim Arnold, he used to come to the council meetings after they get out of session. And he would give us updates and, kind of enlighten us and teach us a little bit about what's coming down. Because I think it's very important especially this session, and what kind of financing that we're going to have, you know, for the city and everything that goes along with that. The second thing is this coming Thursday at 2:30 in the afternoon down at the street department. I'm going to have a meeting with Daryl Garbacek, the maintenance supervisor, and Sean Smith, our street superintendent, with a individual from Indiana Clean Cities about using biodiesel in our equipment to see the feasibility of it and if it's even possible to do it, and then the economic paybacks or how much it's going to cost financially to do that kind of project. So more on that. And then yesterday out at PNW, there was a fantastic Martin Luther King presentation and program put on by, and I hope I say her first name right, Kahana Davis. And she did a fantastic speech. She's from Michigan City, grew up in the Eastport area, very successful woman, CPA, and a number of other positions that she holds, and she lives on Indianapolis. But she gave a wonderful speech, very inspirational, and she did a great job. And our Mayor Angie was the MC, and she did a fantastic job. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other comments from the council? If there are none, I would just like to close out. I don't need that. Moving forward, to all the constituents that comes into the council chambers for meetings. We ask that members of the public refrain from approaching the council bench prior to the start of meetings. This time is reserved for council members to complete necessary preparations. And additionally, please wait until the meeting has been formally adjourned and all council members have left their seats before approaching the bench. Although a meeting may be adjourned, there are often times where documents that must be still signed and finalized. We appreciate your cooperation and understanding. And I'm saying that to say when we're coming in before the meeting starts, we may need to interact. We may need to consult with the attorneys. And when we have the public that's coming, there are conversations that may be had that needs to be addressed to the attorneys, things of that nature. And then once the meeting is adjourned, there are documents that we as council members have to sign, and engaging in conversations can sometimes have the council members overlook documents that needs to be signed because they need to be signed in a timely manner. And while the clerk have us all here, this will also help to make sure that she get all signatures that is needed. If not, then we're going to get those stickies, a phone call, an email, hey, we need to come back in and sign. So moving forward, starting at our next council meeting, I'm asking if all constituents that are or people that is within our council chambers, please honor and respect this moving forward. And if
respect, can you put the minutes outside so we can grab without approaching you, please?
that is doable. Thank you for that recommendation. We can accommodate that. Madam Clerk, in future moving forward, effective immediately, if the agendas could be placed out in the foyer for the public to obtain.
Okay.
If there is no further ado, may I entertain a motion to adjourn? Thank you and have a good evening.